From architecture to painting and sculpture, literature to live music and theater. Radio 111 presents Bonnie G and Brayan Mendoza with The Desert Scene, your connection to culture and entertainment in the desert cities. Here's Bonnie and Brayan.
And welcome to The Desert Scene. I'm here with my co-host, Brayan Mendoza, and we are really excited to have as our guest today, John Corr. I'm just meeting him. He is in the cast of Salty, the next show coming up at Desert Ensemble Theatre Company. Hi, John. How are you?
Hi, Bonnie. I'm doing well. How are you?
Good. Wow. Do you do radio?
I don't know, but I've been told that I should look into it.
I absolutely. I'm just hearing your voice. Absolutely.
He has a better voice than me. I was like, I'm a little jealous.
So, I'm looking at your bio. I'm just meeting John. He is started performing musicals in Philadelphia, then went to University of Notre Dame, and originally tended to major in chemistry and math, but moved over to film, TV, and theater. So tell us about that.
Well, growing up, I was a pretty talented student. I really enjoyed math and science, and I was good at it. And when I found performing in high school, I always sort of figured that my life would be like a math and science career, and then I would be doing theater for fun on the side. But as my education continued, I was like, no, you got to commit to what makes you happy. So I kind of dove in.
Okay, and then you moved to Portland, Oregon. What made you decide to move there? I'm just curious.
Sort of the culture. It was sort of this interesting art scene. It was a young city, and I knew that I wanted to move sort of to the West Coast, but I didn't want to dive at LA. That felt kind of too big for me. So Portland seemed like a good starting spot.
Okay, and did lots of theater, the Defunct Theater, Broadway Rose, and then a two-year program at the Actors Conservatory, and then in June 2020, you came out here to the desert. So, and kind of looks like you jumped in right away, Desert Rose Playhouse. So, tell us about what brought you to the desert?
Honestly, the weather.
Okay, a lot of people say that. Yep.
Yeah, my day job went remote, so I was a free bird, and I figured I would come find the sun.
And so, has the desert did it live up to your expectations so far?
Oh, it's been fabulous so far, and the theater scene and community has been even better than I expected. It's been great to kind of get to know everyone and get started. Yeah,
and Desert Rose and Robbie and Matthew Desert Rose are fabulous. I've seen a lot of stuff there. I write theater reviews for a local newspaper, so I see a lot of stuff around town. So tell us about Salty. Let's get into that. This is tell us about the story. The plot here is kind of interesting, I think.
I think it is such a funny, sweet script, but it's set in some dark times. So we're set sort of in a vague near future when global warming is sort of just actually spinning out of control and people are starting to really feel the effects of it. So the cast, most of us play both a human who works or has a connection to the zoo, and then we also play penguins in the zoo.
Okay.
With sort of parallel storylines. And the penguin storyline is centered around based on the true story of the sort of gay penguins adopting an egg and becoming like the first gay parents in the zoo. Mm-hmm.
Interesting. So it kind of touches on both those topics, global warming and also parenting, same-sex marriage, and having parenting, and so it kind of goes in two different directions. Would you say?
Yes,
okay.
For sure. It touches on a lot of kind of really kind of contemporary current themes. Sort of single parenthood, grieving, gender identity and flexibility. Mm-hmm. So it's kind of feels very current.
And I know my buddy Jerome Elliott is directing, which is fabulous. Mm-hmm. And I just we interviewed Melanie Blue, I think last week. I said, who else is in the cast with you?
So we have Felicia Mason, yes. Miguel Arbalo, Heather Joy, Anthony Nannini, and Tessa, whose last name is escaping me at the moment.
Okay.
She's fabulous.
Yeah, and many of them I have seen in other things and reviewed. Yeah, so tell us about your. Actually, my co-host Brayan has a question for you.
You know, I wanted to know. I guess were you about to ask him about his role, because I wanted.
No, go ahead.
I wanted to know if you were playing a human or a penguin, because my next question depends on that. I need to know, human or penguin?
So aside from Melanie, who plays a sort of fox narrator character, everyone plays both a human and a penguin.
Oh, that's interesting. So I wanted to ask you, like, since I assume the play is an original work to the theater right now, so how does it humanize, in your opinion, like penguins? Like, it's kind of an odd question, sort of like what kind of tree are you? But I was gonna say, like, because you're playing a human and a penguin, so I wanted to know, like, what is it that connects the penguin to the human in the story? And tell us about your experiences as playing a penguin. How does it humanize?
Do you really go into the physicality of walking like penguins? Do you do that?
So we've played with that a little bit. We're trying to find this balance where, it's fun. We are playing penguins. There's something kind of inherently kind of camp and silly and fun about that we don't want to shy too far away from. But the truth is, the penguin storylines are these deep, complex relationships with a lot of emotion that feel almost more human than humans at some points. So we really also want to kind of honor that and not make them too caricature-y. But we're trying to have a little bit of fun with them. Yeah.
What a challenge. Well, that's an interesting thing to put on your resume. Well, I've played a penguin. Yeah, I mean...
Yeah. So, exactly.
So, John, what of the theater that you've done up to now, do you lean more towards sort of contemporary stuff, comedy stuff, classic stuff, or do you like it all?
I love it all. I wish I had a really clear answer. I will say I dive at a musical whenever I can. Mm-hmm. I love to sing and dance. Mm-hmm. But a lot of times they're not written with the hugest range of acting asks and emotions. Yeah. So I also love doing contemporary, and I'm a sucker for a classic. I did a lot of Shakespeare in Portland. Wow. I love like really good old classic plays too. So why not try it all? Yeah.
When it comes to, I'm a singer as well, and I love musical theater. What is your, if you were going to a club, after theater club or something, and there was a pianist and people were getting up to sing, and they said, "John, come sing something." What's your go-to song? Do you have a go-to song?
Well, there's this great cabaret song by a composer named Craig Cornelia called Flight that Sutton Foster has a famous recording of. And that is my go-to favorite song to sing. But from a musical, anything from Company. Yeah. Being Alive, obviously. Oh, yeah. Great tune. It's a little obnoxious to just do in the bar in front of people, but it's a good song.
If I was the singer, my song would be like Xanadu. I don't know why it just occurred to me to share that. I was curious about what do you think is I always like to ask musical theater performers, what is, in your opinion, the worst song for you to audition for? If you were given a sheet and you were told you have to sing the song, what is the worst possible song imaginable that you would have to sing for an audition for you? From a musical, you're talking about? Yeah, from a musical. I'm curious because there's a lot of ones I can name, but I'm curious about this one.
So there are some bad songs, but I think the real thing is picking a song that's bad for you. I'm not about to do, and I'm telling you I'm not going, from Dreamgirls. Right. Because that's just that's not really mine to do. Right. I hear it.
That is to me, that is such an important thing, and it's one of my pet peeves, especially the age appropriate thing. Because I told the story before, but many years ago, I came from Washington D.C. and I was doing some kind of variety show, and there were all kinds of people and ages, and there was this little girl, and she had a really nice voice, but she was 8, and she did "If I Could."
Oh, I remember this.
Which is a mother singing to her child. Right. "I protect you from." She was 8, and I thought, who in the world told her to sing that song? It was insane.
Imagine she sings a song from Miss Saigon, that song about being a mother. That would piss me off. Well, they try.
So, John, what's a couple of questions? What's on your bucket list? Is there a show, a play, a role that you've always wanted to do that you haven't done? Number one, and number two, have you ever thought of, or have you ever put together a little one-man show, but maybe music, but also some dialogue in there as well? Is that something you've ever thought about?
It isn't something that I've personally thought about, but maybe now I will. That is, it's a really fun idea, and I do love to perform, so why not?
Okay. And what about a bucket list part that you haven't done yet?
Well, it's kind of funny because I just had my 30th birthday, which is the age of Bobby and Company, which I've never gotten to be in.
Okay.
And that is like the dream role for sure for me.
Excellent. Well, all right. We'll put directors, theater directors, producers out there. I think you need to do a company and hire this guy. So let's talk. The show opens February 18th, correct?
Correct, yes.
Okay. And it's at the, I just finished Artificial Morality over at the Palm Springs Cultural Center. It's a fun little theater to work in, and DETC is great. Jerome is great. Sean Abramowitz is great. So looking forward to seeing it and seeing you as a penguin. That should be fun.
I'm looking forward to being a penguin.
Well, John, best of luck to you. Nice to meet you. Congratulations. It sounds like a really fun show, and I have a feeling we're going to be seeing a lot more of you in the desert community over the next couple of years.
Thank you. Yes, I hope so.
All right, John Corr, thank you so much. Break a leg on the 18th. Thank you. And we will see you guys next time on the Desert Scene.